This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all feeling today? So, you can drop a thumbs up in the chat if you are excited and any emoji of your emotion, like if you are still waking up. Okay. Good morning, Deepa. So, if you attended yesterday's session, awesome. If not, no worries. You can always catch up with the recording. But let's have a quick recap, okay? So yesterday we talked about why artificial intelligence and data science are in such demand, with like with obvious reasons, right? With new job opportunities, high salaries, and the fact that almost every industry is transitioning towards AI in some way. And the big question was who can start learning AI, right? And the simple answer was everyone. And if you are willing to learn and practice, yeah, AI is for you. So then we explored the key differences between artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. So AI is the broadest term which covers anything that makes machines smart. And ML is the subset of AI which allows machines to learn from past data and make predictions using machine learning algorithms. And then deep learning goes a step further. It's a subset of machine learning which uses neural networks, nothing but complex mathematics compared to machine learning models. And it's similar to human brains, like how human brain process information. So deep learning is almost mimicking the human brains. And then generative AI, so which is like artistic side of AI, where it can create something new like images, music, or text that which never existed before. So, and it's all connected. Like as we move forward, you are going to see, like, how these concepts come together in real world applications. And then we explored some generative AI tools, right? There are many actually, but we explored like three of them. Like we saw in video, which converts text into engaging videos, and then Humata, which can summarize and analyze documents instantly, and then it's a music Suno AI, which creates music with lyrics from just a text prompt. And yeah, AI is actually evolving rapidly, and believe it or not, like what we see today is just the beginning, right? Like a few years from now, AI will be capable of so much more than it is today. So that's why, like, simply knowing how to use this AI tools for tasks like generating images or like generating videos won't be enough, right? So it's great for productivity. Using all these tools will boost the productivity. Sometimes, like, it might come to a situation where it's all necessary to learn the AI tools for the work applications, but like it won't be enough. Like it won't be enough to get paid in the companies just for writing the generating the images and all, right? So what really matters is understanding what's happening behind the scenes, how these generative AI tools are made, and how these AI models are built actually, and how to create our own AI applications is what really matters. So that's where the real value is, and that's exactly why we are learning AI. Not just to use it, using it is important, but not just to use it, but to build it. Let's start moving in that direction. Like we have to understand what's behind all of this. So, and then yeah, after generative AI tools, we spoke about what's behind ChatGPT, that is large language models. And these large language models are powered by something called transformer architecture. Yeah, I'm not sharing the screen yet. Yeah. So, and we didn't go too deep into all these technical details yesterday, but we discussed it at higher level, like how transformers revolutionizing this AI by just enabling the models to understand and generate human-like text. So because of this transformers, like the text context is easily understandable by these large language models. Right now we have diffusion models too. So like as we progress, you understand like what are this all this new advancements, what all this new terminology. So for now, like if you have never heard a word about all this, don't worry. And yeah, because of this transformer, like this architecture is what makes ChatGPT more than just a chatbot. So, and what else? Like we even spoke about prompt engineering, where giving better inputs will lead us to get better outputs, and then introduce agent AI, which can automate tasks like planning trips, comparing prices, and making bookings, like all without human intervention. So then we discuss the career paths in AI and the roadmap to mastering it and the curriculum of this particular course, right? So if you missed the session, I highly recommend watching the recording when you get a chance. So before we start, a quick check. How did you all join today's session? On a laptop or mobile? You can put laptop or mobile on the chat. So how did you join today's session? Laptop or mobile? Okay, I see laptop. Good. I recommend you to join through laptop so that you can code along with me. If possible, like if you can join through mobile and you can hear the class, and in the laptop you can uh, practice along with me. You can do that also. You can join through both devices, one for listening to the class, so that like in the other screen you can directly work. Okay, great. Like a lot of laptops joining. Like, but today, like since this is a lesson one, if you're joining through mobile, it's okay. But in future, make sure you join through laptops. So, and yeah, and let me check your Python experience. Like type one if you are coding for the first time, and if you are already know Python, type two. Let me see, so that it will help me adjust the pace. Okay, I see once coding for the first time. Don't worry, Yatin. Okay. Okay, lot of ones. It's okay, no issues. So we'll go slow. And one important note before we begin is that learning artificial intelligence, Python, or any technical skills isn't just about attending the classes, right, or listening to the recordings. It's about consistent practice. So simply listening won't be enough. So the real learning happens when you apply what you learn. So try out exercises, experiment with tools like you have Google Colab, like you're going to see what it is, and work on small projects. So if you stay dedicated for just 4 to 5 months, you are going to see amazing progress, and think of it as an investment in your future. And every bit of effort you put in today will pay off in the long run, because AI is uh, like the major, yeah, like how AI is. And yeah, so let try answering this question, like Python. Yeah, we all know that Python is the most popular programming languages today, especially in data science. But can you all hear me now? Okay, I'm really sorry. Like we had a connection so the connection got disconnected. I joined through mobile hotspot, but quickly, like I got the current back. I'll connect back to the Wi-Fi. So I'm really sorry. So, but this is clear, right? Okay. So I was asking you the question like which was released first, Google or Python? Drop your answers in the chat. Which one was released first? What do you think? Google was released first or Python? Python. Okay, Google. I'm getting a mixed answers here. Like Google. Okay, lot of Python was in 1992. Okay, so lot of votes are going towards Google, but actually Python was released first. Python was created by Guido van Rossum and released in 1991, Yatin, and Google was founded by Larry Page and Sergey Brin in 1998. Actually, Python is 7 years older than Google. What do you think, like Python or Java? Is Java the oldest programming language? Like compared to Python, Java is older. Okay, again I see Java. Okay, a lot of Javas again. Again, Python is older than Java. Python was older than Java. Like Java was almost released in 1995, I guess, but uh, Python was in 1991. But Python got a lot of attention in 2010s. Like before, it was there from long time, but it didn't become super popular right away. It really took off in the early 2010s when data science and machine learning started booming. Since then, like it's become the go-to language for AI, even automations, and even for data analytics. Yeah, so it's Python. It's older than Java and older than Google itself. So next question would be, where do we code in Python? What do you think? Like, where can we do the coding in Python? Correct, Yatin. It's IDEs, right? So integrated development environment. So there are several options of IDEs like PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter Notebook, even the Google Colab. So you have to install softwares on your laptop, and then we can work on those IDEs to code Python. But today we will be using Google Colab. Have you all heard about Google Colab before? Type 1 in chat if you are hearing this word Google Colab for the first time. Okay, okay, one, yeah, no issues. So Google Colab is an IDE, but it's a cloud-based tool by Google itself that lets you write and run Python code without installing anything on your laptop. Since it runs on online servers, yeah, you don't have to worry about your system compatibility or performance issues. Just we need a Gmail ID and a good internet. We'll be good to go. And every class I'll be sharing a Google Colab notebook link which you can open. And I'm not going to give you the edit access, but I'll show you how to create a copy of yourself, copy of your Google Colab notebook, and it will get saved automatically to your Gmail ID, whatever you're using. And you can practice in that Google Colab. And multiple people, like I'm not giving you edit access because multiple people can work on this Google Colab. Like if you start coding from your end, I start coding from my end, all the codes get updated in single sheet. So that's the reason, like I give a Google Colab link, you make a copy in the start of the class, so it will be stored in your Google Drive. So whenever you go for Google Drive, all the sheets will be available there by lesson wise. So it's easy for you to navigate later on too for practice. So you are going to see how Google Colab looks soon. So first I'll share the link in chat. Don't worry if you're not able to open the Google Colab. Sometimes there will be errors loading it. So try opening the link. I'll share my screen. Okay. Now tell me how many of you are able to open this and anybody have issues opening it. You just need Gmail ID and a good internet. You just click on it and it gets open for you. Try opening it. Till then, I am connecting to the Wi-Fi again. Okay, can you all hear me? Everybody are able to open the Google Colab from your end? Anybody getting the notebook loading error? Okay,
I
great.
am getting error.
You're getting the notebook loading error. So,
Yes.
like the first time you're opening for a few people, we always get this error. The only thing is you have to either try in incognito mode, or you have to clear the history and cache, and then you have to reload it. So we usually have this issue, like first time you're opening it, we see a lot of notebook loading errors. But trust me, only the Gmail ID and the internet what you need, and it's get resolved by trying it in incognito mode, or with a, if it's a office laptop, it won't work again. So I didn't understand your question, Sam. Is this correct? So try in incognito. Okay, it worked. So next time, like you try clearing the history and all, I'll put it soon. Like I'll put it in the group. Like what are the different iterations you have to try? Because for few people, clearing the history and cache it would work. For few, it works in incognito with a different Gmail ID. But prerequisites are like only Gmail ID and internet. That's it. So anybody else still it's showing notebook error, or it's fine? So you can try after the class also. So if you are not able to open it today, you go on with the class, and still if the issue persists after the class also, I can, if you can able to share your screen, I'll try to look into it. Okay, so this is how a Google Colab looks. So this is a product of Google, where you can do Python programming. Not only Python programming, the machine learning part, even the deep learning, everything we are going to do it on the Google Colab, because you don't have to worry about your system's compatibility, because we are going to, it's going to connect with the online servers. So you can see the share option here, right? This is where I've given you the access. So, but I have given you the view access. I didn't give you the editor access. So you will be not able to edit my sheet. But what you can do is you can see this file on the left side, right? You see the file on the left side. Go to file, click on save a copy and drive. So a copy of Google Colab, like this lesson plan, gets saved in your drive. So go to file, click on save a copy and drive. Till here it's clear. Any issues? Make a copy. You can put it in the chat like if you're done. So there are a lot of people who are doing it for the first time. So I'm going a little slow. Be with me. Okay, great. So, and you can see there's this plus code and plus text on the left side of the screen here, right? So what it means is, like, we can do the coding part, and we can even do the texting part. You can see all the notes here. So I have written everything in the text cells, and the coding part, we can click on the plus code, and we can code in it. So like if I click on plus code, so I'm going to get the code cell where you see this play button. If I click on text, I'm going to get the text cell. So I can write anything here. Good morning. So this is the text cell here. And this is a code cell where we do the Python programming. So you can give a simple addition here, and I can run this code cell by clicking on this play button. So first time it will take 20-30 seconds because it's connecting to the online servers here. After that it's quick. So you are able to, oh, Sam says mine is not like yours. Okay, I've shared the Google Colab link, right? You make the copy, it looks the same. So if something is not similar after the class, if you are able to share your screen, I'll look into it. Because I have shared the link, right? It would be the same. So yeah. And you can even click on the plus code and plus text by clicking on the center of this Google Colab. You can see plus code here. You can either access this because sometimes you are somewhere. Yeah, you can either use this way or you can go here and click. We always like use this. So like when you click on plus code, you're going to get the code cells. So I'm going to delete this extra ones. So we can see like 6 plus 7 simply I just run this, you got the output 13. So this is a basic addition we can do in Python programming as if we are using a calculator, right? So Python programming is very beginner friendly, and you can see like it's the syntax part, like syntax is nothing but the rules we learn for programming language. So the syntax part for Python programming is very simple. So that's the reason like people are very much interested in learning Python for data science, so that you can concentrate more on the uh, data science or artificial intelligence concepts more than like programming skills. So Python is very beginner programming language to start with, and once you learn any programming language, the core concepts would remain the same. So only the rules and the syntax part changes. So if you are learning it for the first time, it's good that you are starting with Python programming. And it's a high level interpreted and interactive programming language that is known for its readability and simplicity. So to get the similar output in other programming languages and Java or C language, you have to write 4 to 5 lines of code. Here it's just like 6 plus 7, you're going to get the output with Python programming language. So yeah, so we'll start with simple Python operators. You can see that all the text part was put in here, and we have ready-made code cells put in where we can directly do the activities. So all these green lines which you see here are nothing but the comments. So in Python, you write a code and you give a hash symbol before it. They are not codes anymore, they are comments. So till here everybody are able to follow up. I can see that I'm unable to get the answer. It is showing that yeah, you have to click on file and make a copy, then edit your copy, Maria, because I didn't give you the edit access, so you won't be able to edit the link I have provided for you. So for you to work on the collab, you have to go to file and click on save a copy in drive. Once you click on save a copy in drive, you'll see that copy of this particular class notebook gets saved in your Google Drive, and you can work on that, not on this. Try that. So basic arithmetic operations. So for people who are learning, know Python already, maybe like 1 or 2 classes seems boring, but be with me because soon we'll go to advanced topics. So yeah, we already done addition before, right? So simple 6 plus 8, and you run this and you're going to get the output, and plus is the operator to get the addition, and minus is the operation to get subtraction. So it's like simple, using a simple calculator. Division, so these are very simple, so I'm going uh, faster here. Like subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, we all know. Now comes a new operator. So all these are the arithmetic operators. So basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication. There's a new operator which is modulus. What do you think will happen if I have 6 modulus 2? Just a sec. Yeah. So what do you think would be the output? What is the output would be when I do 6 modulus 2? You can try on your collabs. Okay, 3. Okay, so it says like returns the reminder of a division, right? If I just run this, it gives the reminder, not the divisor division. So so you are going to get the output of this reminder. So let's do one more. Like if I have 75 modulus of 5, what would be the output? Okay, I see correct answers. Good, Maria. Are you able to try on your collab notebooks? Are you able to code along with me? Like if there are few people who are not able to load it, don't worry. After the class, we'll look into it. But others who are able to open it, is it easy coding in Python? Easy coding in Collab? Okay, good, correct answers. So it's 0 again. So modulus operator returns the reminder, and then we have exponentation. Like if you want to raise one number to the power of another, we are going to use double asterisk. So 4 double asterisk 2 will be like 4 square. So for writing 4 square, we are going to use the double asterisk symbol here. Single asterisk is multiplication, double asterisk is to raise the power. And this is also simple, like we have floor division, this is a new operator. So if I have 5 floor division 2, what do you think would be the output now? So you have a comment here, divides one number by another and rounds down to the nearest integer. So we have something called floor division. So if I run this, you are going to get division output, but it gets rounded to the nearest integer. Like the simple division will be 2.5, but when you use the floor division, that means we need uh, integer here. So coming to the topic integer, so we have different data types. So soon we are going to see what are data types in the coming activity, what are data types in the activity 4. But if I observe here, like you can see this is like rounded off to 2 here and we have 2.5. So in mathematics 2.5 is the decimal number, right? 2 is the integer. Rounded numbers are integers. You can check if it's a integer or decimal number in Python using a function called type. So if you just give this type function and write 2 here and run it, it shows like it's an integer. The same if I do it for 2.5 here, type 2.5, you can see that it's a float. So how am I entering the second code? That means like this you're asking like plus code. I'm clicking here and just getting into the next code cells, or you can use the plus code from the left side here. So is that your question? Okay. So you can see that, when I put in type in 2, we got integer, type in 2.5, it's a float, right? So it's showing me like if it's a decimal or integer, but the terminology is different. When we are learning any new programming language or a foreign language, we have a different words there, right? Same with Python, we have to learn the terminology of Python. So integer is integer here itself, here too, but for decimal points, we call them like floats in Python programming language. And yeah, So when we have used the division, the output, for example, you have like 6 divided by 2. Still you can check the type of it. Let's see what it would be, if it's an integer or a float. So when we use a division operator, even if it's a round, you can see that 6 by 2 is 3, but it's a float because you're going to get the output in a decimal data type. So we have seen numbers till now, right? Let's do a text here. Write any text. I'm going to write Python itself. If I just run this, what do you think would be the output? If I just run Python now, what would be the output? Yeah,
It will be Python. Yeah, that's it.
so we got an error because we have some rules to follow while learning Python. So till here, when we have used numbers, it was running fine, but suddenly when I put in the text, when I run this, we got the error. That means like text, while giving input as text, we have to follow a rule, like we have to either include that in double quotations or single quotations. Only then Python will understand it's a text. If not, it will throw error. So as we go along, we have to learn few rules like this, which Python accepts because yeah, even if you learn a new human language, we have few rules and different grammars to follow. So text and text is called as strings from now on. So numbers, rounded numbers, like we call them integers, decimal points, we call them float. Text is called as strings for Python programming language. So now it's like working with strings. That means like working with text. So we have seen plus operator, right? Let's see what happens if I just write Python plus easy. What do you think would be the output? I have given addition operator for both words here, Python plus easy. Will it
Yeah,
throw error?
Python. No, it will not.
Yeah. So if I just run this, so you can see that like it got concatenated. Like when we have used the same operator on 5 plus 6, you got the output like 11. But when you have two strings and you have a plus operator here, you got Python easy, right? So 5 plus 6 is not 56. It was 11. So the plus operator, so in the backend, the plus operator, these operators are written by Python author in such a way that when we use both strings, then it's getting concatenated. We call it like concatenation. But when both numbers are there on the left and right side, we are going to get the addition of it. So all this has taken care of Python author. So if I just do multiplication of 5 of 3, then we all know like it's 15. But the same way, let me just have a text and let me just multiply it by 3. What do you think would happen now? Hello
Three times
multiplied by
hello.
3.
Yeah, 3 times hello.
Yeah, 3 times hello. So all these are like, if you have questions like, why we are getting outputs like this, hello, 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 like this. And when I give like Python plus easy, it's Python easy. And when it's numbers, it's addition. All this has taken care of the Python author in the backend. So we have no control on it. So we are learning how to use them. What are the different use cases of Python? What are the rules of Python? That is what we are learning it. We have no control on these things. But actually, once you learn object oriented programming, we can actually overwrite this plus. So we can do such things, but by adding coding to it, you'll learn that soon, like in the advanced topics. For now, just see this, and now let me ask you a question. Like we have like Python plus easy, right? We have both numbers on the left and right. So let me just add Python plus 10. What do you think would be the output now?
Yeah, it will throw an error because it will not be able to concatenate both of them with string and number. Type
Correct,
error, I think.
correct. Actually, like when you add Python 10, we expect like it's Python 10 or maybe yeah, you got an error, right? So it can concatenate both strings, it can concatenate both numbers or integers, but it cannot add integer and a string. So we either have to convert this 10 to 10 to a string actually. So it's a number, but we can convert that to a string for the Python programming just by adding function str before it. So now if I run this, 10 is a number actually, but you have converted that to a string. So now you can see like, Python 10 here. So either you can use string function or you can directly give quotations. Anything which is written inside quotations is string for Python programming language. So if I just have, we saw this type function before, right? So if I just write 1000, what would be the output now? If I just run this code cell, type 1000, but it's in quotations. Will it throw error or like string? Okay, correct. 1000, okay. 1000 would be the output, but we are using the type function. Type function is used to give you the type of the data, like data type. If it's a string or integer or float, it will show you what is the data type of it. So if we have this print function and write 1000, it would print for us, but when you use the type function, so it's going to show you like what is the data type of it. So there are a lot of functions in Python. So we have a dedicated lesson for functions itself. Again, there are ready-made functions and user-defined functions. So all that we are using right now are the ready-made functions which Python author has created. We are learning like what is that function used for. So function is like you say each function has a designated task for it. Print function has the task of printing. Type function has a task of showing what is the data type of it. So all these are user defined all these are ready made functions which Python author has created. If there is any need of creating a particular function where ready-made functions are not available, then we can create our own functions like this that we are going to learn in lesson 3 or 2. So for now, all these are ready-made functions and there are a lot of ready-made functions. That's the reason Python becomes very easy. You just have to use them. You have to know like which to use where. So yeah, if you check the type of 1000, then it was string because you have quotations for it. The same thing without quotations would be a integer. So how many types of data types are there? What are they? We are going to soon cover them. We have already covered 3. There is one more remaining, which you are going to see in the next activity. So converting a number to a string to concatenate, that's what we have done here. Either you can use this string before it or you can use quotations. It becomes a string automatically, but you cannot add Python plus a number, text with a number, it will throw error. So let's come to variables and data types. So what is a variable? Any idea what is a variable? Have you ever heard about variables? Okay. I hope like you're finding this interesting and easy to follow. Is everyone able to keep up till here? Do you have any questions so far about what we have done with Colab and all? Okay, okay, no issues. Okay, great. So variable, like before we go into variables, for example, like if I give for a human brain a task like add two numbers 5, 6, then what we do in the like something happens in the backend, then we add like 5 plus 6, and you'll say what is the output, then it's 11, right? So when we expect the computers to do it, like when we expect the Python programming to remember like 5, 6, and then add. In the backend, it also has to do similar task, right? So if I just say like, A equal to 5, B equal to 7, A plus B, it is going to do the addition part here. Don't worry, what is this A B equal to 7? So you got the output 12. Like you can directly add here 5 plus 7. You get the same output. But what I have done here is I saved 5 in some variable called A. So that like next time I want to use A, if I run this, you get the output 5 because I'm saving 5 in the variable A. So what happening in the backend is, so variable is like a container where you can store a value in it and you can name it. So it's like a container where we are storing a value inside it. So that like, we can reuse it also. Like here, we are not saving anything here. We are directly seeing the output. So when I say A equal to 5, so creating a variable is very easy. You just have to name it equal to symbol and write the value which we are storing on the right side. So when I said like A equal to 5, so one more memory block was created where we are creating, yeah, it's like a box where you can store a value and we can use it later on. So variables are names that you assign values to, allowing you to reuse them later. Because what's happening here is, if you create a variable like this, A equal to 5, so we simply see like, we have a value, we named it as A, but in the backend, ID is created for this A. For this memory block, there's a ID created. So if you just don't save them in variable names like this, they have multiple IDs like this, which becomes difficult for us to remember. Correct, Sam? Your answer is correct. So it becomes difficult to remember this memory locations. Like next time you use this, you want to use this value somewhere else. So instead of remembering this IDs, we are actually naming them. So naming even functions or variables or classes, modules. For now, you don't know what this classes, modules, don't worry. We call it as Python identifiers. Python identifiers are names used to identify variables, functions, classes, so on in Python code. So when we name something, for humans also we have few rules, like we don't name them randomly like pen and pencil. So we have few rules to follow. The same way when you name a variable or even a function, so on, there are rules to follow. Like, they can start from A to Z, capital or small, or you can use the underscore symbol, but no special characters are allowed. It can't contain spaces. So you can have a name like, Python easy. You can, like, I'll show you with the examples. And it cannot be Python keywords. So nothing but like, you use the help function and type keywords here. You can see all the keywords of Python. So you cannot have all of this as Python identifiers because all of these are taken. So that's the same thing with humans. We don't have like table, chair as names, right? So we have those things for the objects. So ABC123, you can have a variable name like this. You can have text, uh, first numbers later. So if you say 123 equal to 10, so you can not have numbers as variable names. So they cannot have numbers as variable names. Let me just comment this. No numbers. But you can have ABC equal to 453. You can have underscore before it. But if you just give like special character ABC equal to -7, it would throw error. So you can have only underscore symbol as a special character, but any other special character as variable name, it will throw error. So you cannot have this. Doesn't work. No special characters. So we have put in all the rules. You can actually try. Let me just remove the annotation here. No special characters, and you can have capital letters. So we just put in as a comments like not valid variable names we have put in here. So you cannot have the uh, keywords too, and you cannot have space in between. So whenever you want space, you have to use underscore symbol. Then it works. So these are the some naming rules for variables. So we follow these rules for user defined functions, modules, classes, so on. So simply we just saw what is a variable. Variable is like a container where you can store a value inside it. And we saw the naming rules. What are the different naming rules we have for it? And data types in Python. So we just covered like three before, right? Integer is for numbers without decimal points. Floating point are decimals, digits with dots. And then text, we call them string. Either you can put it in single or double quotations. Then we have true or false, which is called Boolean data type. So what do you think would be the output if I just write type true? If I check the type of true, what would be the output? Boolean. Okay. Any other answers? Okay. Boolean. Sure. Float. Okay. It's not float. Like it's not a number at all, right? So I've just written, okay, string, correct, Maria. It's string because I've given quotations to it. If I just run it, anything inside quotations is string. Like we saw, like if you write quotations and then to it, that becomes a string. It's not an integer anymore. So for writing a Boolean value, you have to follow no quotations and first letter as capital. Only for true and false, we have this rule where have to use capital T. Now this true is a boolean. So with quotations it's a string. So you have to use capital T are true, and without quotation that becomes a boolean. That goes same with false. Capital F. Is it clear? It's a boolean now. So there are four data types: integer, numbers, float, decimal points, strings or everything inside quotations, and yeah, true and false with capital T, capital F without quotation, that becomes a boolean. And what do you think? How many values we can store in a variable? So we create a variable, we name it, and we store a value inside it. How many values do you think we can store uh, inside a variable? Okay. So you have to remember, like we can store only single value inside a variable. So I think I've put it in somewhere. Yeah. You cannot store multiple values in a variable, so it's always a single value. So always, as a good practice, name a variable in such a way that it reflects the nature of the value stored inside it. So let me do an activity where, okay, so I create a variable a equal to 5, and then I create a variable a equal to 10. Now I want to print a. What do you think would be the output? Will it be 5 or 10? Okay, 10. Okay, correct. Yeah. So if I just run this, so it's 10, right? So when you create a variable, and again you create a one more variable with different value, then the variable name remains same, the value gets updated to 10. So now the value got updated to 10. So you see 10 here. And one more use case, like a equal to, let's change the variable name, q equal to 100, b equal to 100. I have created values same but with a different variable names. So I just run this. So if I check the ID of Q, so we got some ID created for it, right? So, and then if I check the ID of B, what do you think? Will it be same or different? So when I create a variable 100 Q, some ID memory location is created here, 1075, so on. So again I said B equal to 100. So what happens is, like in the Python memory management happens. So instead of again creating one more variable, so B gets referred to the same variable where the same value is located. So that that space saving and everything happens. All this have done by the Python author. So both variables of same values. So you're going to have the same IDs. It gets referred to the same variable. So no, it's not different. Yeah, it's same IDs when you have the values same. But when you have the variable name same, but values different, you are going to check the IDs. So if I just write a ID of A, it gets the variable name gets overwritten, but A equal to 10. And you check the ID of A. We got both different memory locations, but the value of A would be overrun by 10. So these are very few basics. Don't get confused here. So we are not going to anyways use ID function at all, like just for information, like what is happening in the backend. But we don't use this ID function, this uh, memory location numbers and so on in actual machine learning or artificial intelligence. Just to understand that memory management is happening in the backend. But like you have to take care, like you have created a variable with a name. If you reuse it, it gets overwritten. That's what you have to understand. You don't have to worry about the numbers like this. So just to know, like memory management is happening very efficiently in the backend. That's the reason Python is faster too. All this leads to the faster execution of Python programming. That's it. So don't worry about extra information here. So let's create 4 different variables and store. Okay, you're getting error, Likita, like my ID for Q gives error. Q is a variable, right? Okay, yeah.
It's
Right.
fine now.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, great. So let's create 4 different variables and store the name, age, gender. So if you observe carefully, like I've created variables and stored only numbers here, right? So let's create variables of name, age, and gender. So always try to give variable names such that it reflects the what is the value we are storing inside it. So name Mellow. So if you see here, look, I'm storing a variable. I'm storing a value which is string. So that's the reason I put it inside quotations. And if I want to store integer, like I want to store the age of this Mellow, maybe 17. This is left side is variable, right side is the value, and it's an integer, so I didn't give any quotations to it. I can store any floating point number, like time, maybe time right now. What is the time right now is 7.58. So any decimal number, also no quotations. So time is the variable here, and the gender of Mellow. So gender, let's take it like female. So then I've just written here in the comment, like true for female, false for male. So it's not a analogy. Just for this example, we are using true for female. So gender equal to true. So if you observe carefully, when we create variables, for strings we give quotations, for numbers no quotations, for boolean capital T, false would be capital F. If I just run this, you would see that there's no output. So I just created 4 variables, but we don't see any output. So to see the output, we have to print the variable names here. So when I just write name here, like when I print name here, then you see the value which is stored inside it. So in Collab Notebook, so if you just want to print one output just without print statement, also it will show what is inside it. But if you want to print name, and then if you want to print age, only the latest one you will see the output, but you don't see the output of name here. So for you want to see the output of name and age and all of that together, then you have to write name, age. You can either have everything in one print statement, gender and time. Then you can see everything in the output. So you have to use print statement. Then this is just for the easy case, like you just want to see what is the output of the last value. You can directly use the variable name without print statement, but you want to see multiple outputs, you have to use print statement for sure. So print function is to show the output whatever written inside it. But if you observe carefully, like to print the variables, I have given the variable name, but I didn't give the quotations there. What happens if I give the quotations for it? What would be the output now? Name, age, gender, time with quotations. If I run this, so anything inside quotations, it becomes string. So when you are printing variable, you just have to print the variable name without quotations. Only then you will get the output. If you give quotations, you get whatever we have typed inside the quotations. So this is about variables and data types. Till here, is it clear? Any questions? Correct, Maria. Do you feel Python is easy or it's difficult to go along with Python? What do you think? I'm asking this question to someone who is coding for the first time. I saw like there are, yeah, it's easy, right? Yeah, not difficult. Till now it's fine. Yeah, it's going to be fine only. Like, we'll go slow. We'll understand these are the basic, like this is how we start any programming language with data types, what is a variable and so on. Only thing is like, this rules changes in other programming languages. So like how we create a variable, those things changes, the concepts remain the same. So yeah, so next print function, we already used the print function, right? If you want to print anything, you have to use the print function, and we already printed the above created variables. So but with this quotations, we have to take care, like you have single quotations and double quotations included in a print statement. You have to be careful with it. Like you print like Nagpur's orange, you see the output. Now it's fine, like you have double quotations here, you have one single quotation, you got the output. But if you had something like this, print single quotations, because you can create variables using single quotations, that's no rule, like you have to use double quotation. So Nagpur's orange. Now you can see, like the same print text, instead of double quotations I have given single quotations. Inside there is one more single quotation. You run this, you get error, because quotations, if you start, you have to end them. You have to take care of these quotations inside a print statement. So it did work here because you had double quotations as to show like it's a string, and there is one single quotation here. When I have written single quotation here after Nagpur, it thinks like the text ended here. For this, it says like unterminated string literal. That means like there is quotation missing. So we can fix it by using a backslash symbol. So whenever you have a backslash symbol before any special character, that means like we are telling the Python ignore that particular uh, special character. So for ignoring a character, you can use the backslash symbol here. So either you can play around with double and single quotations, or you can use the backslash symbol simply to ignore that particular special character, because sometimes you do everything correctly, you just want to print the output, maybe because of some simple quotation we keep getting errors. So, or this also works like, you have double quotations, single quotations combined like this, but output changes. Here it's like Nagpur's orange, here orange is in quotations. So each time you have special characters, you can ignore them using the backslash symbol. So, but the problem is like if you have a bigger sentence, like you just want to use it, there are a lot of special characters and you cannot go through everything. And so I'm just randomly putting something. So you want to ignore all the characters at once. Okay. You have any special characters like this? Okay. Slash n. Yeah. So you have special slash n is nothing but to get the statement like we have put in here in the next activity. Yeah, we have this. Slash n is nothing but the new line character. So whenever you have slash n, that means we are going into the next line. So when I print C dogs Nagesh, so when I run this, you can see that you got C dog. The slash n has printed this particular word in the next line here. So to ignore that, we can either use again slash symbol to make it ignore one slash here. So you can either work like this with this. Yeah, so don't get confused. Like you just have to understand that slash n is a new line character which is used to insert a new line in the output. So whenever you see that you have slash n together, that means print will understand that we have to now go for the next line. That's not what I'm intending here. I just want to print C dogs slash Nagesh, the link here I want to see in the output. But whenever it's slash n, right away you get it in the next line. So you have to take care with slash n, which is a new line character. Yeah. So we'll stop it here. Tomorrow we'll start with input function. So we have seen print function, we have seen type function. Tomorrow we are going to see input function, what input function does. And we are going to see data type conversion. We already saw data type conversion, like, just the numbers by using strings around it, or str function. We are converting that data type into a different, like from number to integer to string. We are doing the data type conversion. So we'll do data type conversion and type function. And you can try more about print function on your collab by yourself. You can see what this sep keyword does and what this end keyword does. Like, the print statement with hello, how are you? So if you just don't have this sep keyword, then you print this. By default, print. So by default, print would print everything with spaces. The comma separated string values are printed like hello, how are you with space. But if you want to include some special character instead of the space, you can use this separator keyword inside the print function. Rarely we use all this, like, don't worry, just to get the information about this. When we working with strings, we use it, but with machine learning models and all, like depending on the use case, we use the sep keyword, end keyword, and all this extra information. We don't go into all that, we just print the output, end of the story there. But it's good that you have to know all this, like all this exists. So if you are formatting a text, or it would be useful, then like we have three classes dedicated for strings alone. Then we'll explore a lot more about strings, so you will understand like how powerful strings are, not just like printing something or typing some text. They can do a lot more in Python. So, and we have multiple print functions like this. So you're going to get everything in next line. So by default in the print function, in the backend, it's written like, when you have two print functions, the next one has to be printed in the new line. But you can control how you want to end each print statement by end keyword. So you just give the end keyword, then you can control like hello, how are you? So you can keep exploring this end and sep keyword with your own inputs. So practice this. So you can combine both sep and end. You can see the output, how the output is changing. So it's fun. You can practice. Tomorrow we'll cover input function and we'll right away go for the loops, concept of loops. So if I just have to print hello everyone 5 times, then whatever knowledge we have till now in the last from the last half an hour, what we would have done is we would have written print hello for the 5 times. You get the output, but this is not the right way of getting it, because if you want to get something like 1,000 times, you cannot copy paste like 1,000 times, right? So we need something called loops. Like if you want to repeat a task, we have a concept of loops. So we are going to talk about while loops tomorrow and how to increment a value by 1. So we cover this tomorrow. So any questions? Hello into 5. So you can have hello into 5. So that would be like this. So there's a difference. So it's a whole string like this. So, but yeah, we need to use the loops concept to automate like to avoid the repetition. So we'll see that tomorrow. Any questions, you can stay back. If not, you can leave the session. See you tomorrow with interesting and core concepts of programming loops. Any questions with whatever we have covered till now? It's okay if it's a very simple question also, don't worry. You can, if you have any questions, you can, yeah, go ahead. If not, you can drop off and see tomorrow. Do we have any assignments to do? So for now, like for each simple classes like this, you can actually copy the collab and then you can practice with different examples by yourself. Like, each class you have to learn the concept and practice it. After 2 weeks, like using all the concepts we have learned in that particular 2 weeks, we have an assignment for a weekend. There you're going to, use the concepts and do some simple problem solving of simple problems. But do practice. Like after the class, you have to collaborate, so you can directly run it. You get errors. You see what is happening, how the outputs are changing. So by exploring yourself, you learn a lot of new things. Like you can see, you might have a question like this: if single and double quotation will work. So you can just run it and check it for yourself. It works. So we just covered very simple concepts, basic arithmetic operations, working with strings, mixing data types together, variables and data types, print function. We just have to cover input function tomorrow. And yeah, we just saw more about print function too. So have a great day ahead. See you all tomorrow. Bye bye.